Ross MacDowell is economics commentator, host of the Bergonomics podcast. Ross MacDowell, morning.
Good morning, Neil. How are you?
I'm okay. Now, is NBN not working?
Well, I think NBN's not living up to the promises that they themselves made when they started the enterprise. First of all, pitched it as being a fantastic broadband service to all Australians everywhere. And really what we've ended up with is not all Australians can get it, and the ones that do get it have somewhat difficulty with the speeds that they get and also the price that they're paying for it.
Well, what sort of speed can they get on the NBN now?
Well, it advertised at 100 megabits per second, but the ACCC, the independent government competition authority, had done tests when people were complaining and found that the 100 megabits per second advertised plan was coming at 52. And then we had NBN shot some satellites up in the air, high Earth orbit satellites, not what we're about to talk about, which is low Earth orbit satellites. And they were purported to meant to do 50 megabits a second, and the ACCC found they were doing half of that.
So are things like Starlink doing a better job?
Absolutely. They are doing a better job. Elon Musk is able to shoot up very small satellites into low Earth orbit with his reusable rockets. The cast I do the Bergonomics podcast, we had on as our expert guest Paul Budd, who was explaining that Musk is going to have 42,000 of these satellites in low Earth orbit in 5 years' time. They provide what NBN hadn't been able to achieve. Fantastic, reliable speeds to everybody, including those out in the bush.
So what should we do? Well, not us as consumers. What should the government do? Should it forget all about NBN? We've spent, what, 50, 80 million on it? Billion on it?
$57 billion, started off at, I think, $9 billion. The taxpayer has contributed $37 billion of that amount, and the rest by private debt. The government's answer to that, Neil, is, oh dear, I think we're in trouble. We will just write off almost the total amount of the taxpayer's contribution. The Productivity Commission has revalued the $57 billion NBN at $19.5 billion.
Gee, so we've blown it.
Well, we've blown it in one way, but not another way, because everybody is going to say, oh, let's rush off to Starlink. At $139 a month, I'm going to get what I'm paying for, and it's fantastic, except one thing. It can't actually service all of Australia. It can't service everywhere in the world that people would like it to do. So we still need an NBN. The problem is the NBN was sold to us as a business concern, whereas it's not. It's like roads. It's like water. We have to have it, and we have to pay for it. The government's sold it to us as a fantastic commercial enterprise, of which it's not.
Okay, 133693. Does NBN work for you? Does Starlink work for you, for that matter? What works better? Is there an answer to this? You talked about low orbit satellites. What do we do with them?
The low orbit satellites are pretty fantastic, actually, because they don't have any of the drawbacks of NBN. They don't require any land use negotiations. They don't require any planning permits, no costly cabling. They don't require thousands of people spending thousands of hours to maintain them. They're just a really great solution to all of the problems that people have with the NBN.
Well, we've got 47,000 of them up there from Elon Musk over 5 years. There won't be any room left.
No, and the Chinese have just said that they're going to duplicate what Elon Musk is doing and offer it to the rest of the world as well.
Oh, I don't know if I'll be using that one. Anyway. Okay, 133693, NBN, Starlink, experiences, please, right across Victoria, metropolitan Melbourne, country Victoria, 133693. Thank you, Ross MacDowell, economics commentator, host of the Bergonomics podcast, on the basis that you bring economics down to a level of what it does to a hamburger.